Welcome in to this edition of the Cavalier Connection. I'm Jeff, joined by Jay. I don't even know who I'm about to say, but an exciting episode. As we're recording this tonight, we'll release this one tomorrow, Tuesday. We have an exciting guest tonight, and when we were getting this one put together, it was the newest two, but really
Didn't last long. Didn't
as
last
you guys
long.
view this, it's not the newest two, as commitment came through tonight. But we are excited to talk to Jacari White. And so before we get to that, we also want to talk about our friends over at Mensers. This episode is brought to you by the fine folks of Mensers. Spring season is in full gear. Stay looking sharp because you never know who you'll run into around the grounds or on the corner like Coach Odom, who was there just a couple weeks ago. Mensers has all your tees. I got one on underneath, came from Mensers. Hats, I got that. Mine came from Mensers. I know yours did as well. Jerseys, we both went the jersey route tonight because we were talking basketball.
What's crazy is we don't plan this. We often wear the same shirts, and it's never planned.
Sometimes we make we change just because, but yeah, you can get your gear now from one of the locations on the corner in Charlottesville, the Stonefield Shopping Center, or at Mensers.com. And Jay, and this coming weekend on Sunday, I'm going to probably be making a stop in at Mensers. So I'm looking to get some good photos out in front of the Mensers, and then God knows what I'm going to spend in there. But we're heading to the Smoky Mountains, and we're going to be, I told Shannon, we're going to make that stop off for a little rest break up in Charlottesville. We'll go to the Mensers we're going to the corner. Nowhere but the counter. We're going to the counter.
Back up to Brink's truck, Mensers. Get ready. Get all the I'm gonna say XLs. I don't know, but get all Jeff's XLs ready to go.
Get the XL ready. Go ahead and get me a care package ready at the counter, and I'd appreciate that. But looking forward to that and the trip this coming weekend. So, definitely go check Mensers out at Mensers.com or one of their two locations. All right. So he averaged 17 points, 4 rebounds a game for North Dakota State. And today we welcome in the newest Virginia commit, guard Jacari White, with a preface. We just got a commitment. Did you see we just got a commitment?
Yeah, I did see it.
I was like, dang, we got all this prepared, and you're almost our newest commitment when we did this. But we're excited to have you join us and join Wahoo Nation. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to experience and just hopefully have everyone welcome me in to the community. So we're excited about that as well.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
So you began your career at junior college and then played 3 seasons at North Dakota State. What was your recruitment coming out of high school, and can you compare it to what it was like, when you entered the transfer portal?
Yeah, so I had no recruitment out of high school. So once our season ended in high school, my high school coach, he went to the state tournament, and he talked with one of the JUCO coaches about me. And so basically, they watched film, and basically they offered me a partial scholarship to go there. So that was like my only real offer out of high school. And so after that first season of JUCO, I didn't know if I was a qualifier or not. So because I never did like the NCAA the clearinghouse or whatever. Right. So I had to do that. So schools were talking to me, but then like most of them dropped out when they realized like they would have had to wait because it was already late in the process after that year. So after I did get cleared, I had to set up 3 visits. Like only 3 schools really stayed, and I set up visits back to back to back. Like I went throughout that whole week, and then I committed and was back on the campus of the school that following week.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I think you had reached your final 5 schools. Virginia wasn't listed at the time. What was it about Virginia that made you consider them as an option?
Okay, so when it was first announced that I was going in the portal, VCU was the first school to hit me up,
Okay.
and
Okay.
and then like as the recruitment kept going, Kyle Guy had reached out to me saying like they were very interested in waiting for the coaching to be announced, and so like from then like it was pretty quiet, but like so then after I listed the top 5 schools, and then Virginia came in. I talked with Coach Odom, and we had a really good conversation. Um, I really trust him. Like, there's people that's in my circle that know the VCU staff very well, so they know him very well, and they all say great things, and I really trust him as a coach. So
Yeah, and a lot of that VCU staff he brought with him when he came. So I'm sure you're familiar with that. But
yeah.
so you go into the portal, a school like Virginia. Do you have like a basketball recruiter and then another person does like the business side, or is it all one person? What is that process in general like?
Well, I have an agent, so like whenever I like talk to schools, it's mainly like basketball and fit, and so and then my agent really handles all the financial things.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's always interesting in this time, with the portal and NIL and everything. I know some coaches are more active with the business side as well, and um, I know that can, it's one of them things. We're grateful that Virginia has such a committed staff to bringing in top athletes like yourself. Um, so when you go into the portal, I got to imagine it's just wild. How many phone calls a day would you say you got?
Ah, man, it was crazy. Like it got to the point I couldn't even like once I get on the call and get off another, and then another one's called. Sometimes calls will overlap, and then also like text messages. Like, yeah, it was a lot.
Good gracious.
I'm
Yeah, you had
sure.
to change your phone number after all that. Have you had an opportunity to visit the campus yet?
No, This is because the dead period right now.
Yeah, right.
But I know a few people that's like from the area, and they say it's very nice, and I'm hoping to see that this weekend, hopefully.
Okay.
That's
You gonna
awesome.
be there
Yeah.
for the spring football game?
Oh, that's this weekend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'm there.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, and I know we're Virginia people, but it's a great campus, so I think you're really going to love it. What were your first impressions of Coach Odom and the coaching staff, which I know you kind of talked about a little bit?
I mean, first impressions, he really seemed very goal driven, and like I feel like I don't know, I feel like I get a good read on people like from first time I meet them and talk with them, and it was just one of those things where it's just like yeah, like I could play for him.
Yeah, he's he really does a great job in what I've seen of taking the talent that he has and using it to be the most successful that they can be. And right now, you don't have a lot of teammates. So was that like, do you look at that as like a plus, not having a lot of teammates? Because you can kind of, you know, uh, mold the roster into what's needed, or how do you look at like the roster building uh, phase that we're in right now?
I look at it as a good thing. It leaves like everything open for competition, and like nothing. Playing time's not guaranteed. Um, but I know he's gonna play guys he trusts and believes in, and we're gonna have to prove that every time we play or practice against each other. So whoever he brings in, it's gonna be fun. And plus, we're all coming in not knowing much. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun experience. Great learning experience as well for everyone, and I feel like it's a good way for us to get acclimated faster and something to we can use to bond over.
Oh, for sure. It's crazy. It's like Coach Odom clearly has a type because you are, a fantastic catch and shoot player. And I was looking at some stats, and it was like the with you and Sam and Duke that just signed tonight, all are above the 90th percentile in catch and shoot threes. So it's like, my gosh, you talk about a lethal, trifecta of guys out on the perimeter. It's going to be incredible. Do you happen to know Sam Lewis or Duke, or have you talked to Chance Mallory by chance, or any of those guys on the roster?
No, I haven't. But Duke, he went to High Point, and I know somebody on High Point. So there's a little connection there. And one of my teammates here knows of Sam, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So that's pretty
Awesome.
much. And I haven't really talked with.
They'll probably be in. I would assume maybe they'll be in town this weekend too, and be hopefully a good chance for everybody to kind of, feel each other out and get to know each other.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you see your game fitting in Coach Odom's scheme?
Well, like you said, with the percentage of guys that we can all shoot. So I think that leaves open like great offensive capabilities. It reminds me a little bit of my team this year. We had guys that can shoot, so we were pretty good outside the arc, and it helped us win a lot of games. So I see us winning a lot of games with what we have if everybody stays in the gym and works hard.
Well, in your game, what part of it do you feel UVA fans are going to be most excited about?
I feel like I bring something different that you don't see too often, like especially with like some of the moves I make and some reads. Like I feel like I'm a team player and I want to get everyone involved and like just some nice plays here and there. But I think it's some energy things as well. So it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be fun. That's really it.
I got to imagine you got a little chip on your shoulder from not being recruited in high school and now getting a chance to go to an ACC school. That has to be kind of like, okay, I'm going to show all these guys that they made a mistake, right?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna keep the main thing. Like basketball is basketball. Like I am really competitive. I don't shy away from competition. I feel like I can play and beat anybody, and that's just the mindset you have to have, especially at this level. So I'm hoping to keep that with me.
For sure. So now that you're in the fold for next year, there's I mean, my gosh, there's probably 1,000 guys or more still in the portal. Are there guys that you're reaching out to and saying, or reaching out to Coach Odom saying, hey, you need to take a look at this guy?
No, I actually haven't. I wasn't sure I could do that. Part of being part of being
I think
part-time
you can,
recruiter.
but maybe I don't know about anybody. You probably can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I haven't.
Yeah, Coach is going to have to give you a list of names and say, hey, we need you on these guys.
That's right.
Definitely, if he does, I will.
Yeah.
What's something people might not know about you off the court?
That's a good question. Um, I'm a man of faith. I always say everything happens for a reason. Always appreciative of where I'm at, no matter how good or how bad. Let me see. I really don't have much going on.
Did you play any other sports in high school?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Keep the main thing. I like when you said that.
Yeah, I mean that's really all. I don't know how people, see me from the outside, but I feel like if you really get to know me, I'm a cool dude. You don't need to be shy to come up and talk to me. So,
That's all.
Do you have any pregame rituals or superstitions that you like to stick to?
Not really. I really don't. Like I'd say I listen to music. I listen to music before before I go to warm up. Um, I like do some stretches before going out there. So I mean, I really haven't done too crazy or notable.
Okay. Is there an NBA player that you model your game after, or who kind of inspires you?
Look, I grew up watching Curry, so everybody wanted to always shoot like Curry. But in terms of like play style, I don't know. I feel like I have my own like play style that I have, and so I don't know.
For sure.
I've heard similarities like Spencer Dinwiddie,
Okay.
maybe a little bit of Malik Monk, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah, two good ones there. So I know you may not be familiar yet with a lot of the Virginia kind of traditions. I'm sure you'll be well versed in them soon. Just to help you out, they don't call it the campus, they call it the grounds. So if you want to show off that you know a little bit about UVA, call it the grounds, and then they don't call it they don't call it freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors. They call it first year, second year, third year, fourth year. So just
Okay.
a little knowledge to pass on. That way you can impress some UVA people when you're talking
Yeah,
to them this
I
weekend.
appreciate the heads up.
So when you're not playing ball, what are some things that you enjoy doing in your downtime?
It's the question that gets me. I don't really do much. I try to play the game a little bit or like watch shows. I could really do it like anything. I just don't like sometimes go out of my way. But like if I'm with people that want to do stuff, I'm like, okay, like let's do it. I'm always down to do something different, try something new. Um, expand my palette on things.
So one thing before Jeff takes us out of here, one thing I know that I'm almost sure you're going to like better about Charlottesville than North Dakota State. That's the winter.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, for sure.
It's got to be miserable cold up there, right?
It's always cold. I don't think we've been above 55 the past 3 weeks.
Oh
Like
my
it literally
goodness.
snowed 3 days ago.
Oh gosh.
We had 90 degrees on Saturday, Jeff?
Yeah, but now we're in Hampton Roads, so we're about
Right.
2.5 hours. Charlottesville's usually a little cooler, but they were probably 70s.
Probably
2 days
80s,
ago.
Jeff. I would
Maybe
say
80. Yeah,
Sure, anything above 50 is warm to me. So
there you go. Right. Yeah. So I know the game has already started. Who you have winning the national title tonight?
man, see, I'm from Florida, and I know guys on the team, but I don't know. I just feel like Houston has the basketball guys on their side after last game.
Oh yeah, that was wild.
Incredible comeback. When
Yeah.
you're watching that as a player, like what are you thinking? Because as a fan, I'm watching it like, how is Duke blowing this?
I just think yeah, they're all like high level guys, very talented, projected first round, but at the end of the day, they're still freshmen, and every freshman goes through that moment in a game where it's just like oh, that's like a freshman mistake. Like I feel like towards the end, like inbounding the ball, that was a big problem for them.
Yeah.
So it's just little things like that.
Did it cross your mind that like when you saw Duke, like I'm going to be playing potentially, I don't know the schedule yet, but potentially I could be playing at Cameron. I know you hadn't committed at that point yet, but like I'm assuming Virginia was already in talks. Like, does that cross your mind?
Oh yeah, I'm ready for Duke, Louisville, Florida State, Clemson, all of them. Ready for the competition. I feel like it's going to be a testament to me and my game and all the work I put in.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
I would expect we'll be at Cameron next year because Duke came to us last year. We only played them one time, so I'm sure that'd be quite the experience.
Oh yeah. Hostile territory.
What's that?
Hostile territory.
That's right. That's
For
right.
sure.
There's nothing like shutting up the hostile territory.
Oh yeah.
We do have a favor to ask.
mentality. Yeah.
When you play Louisville, one of our very own, from last year transferred. I'm sure you're aware, probably IMAC. We got to hold him down. We can't let IMAC go off on us. We gotta shut him down.
That's right.
Yep. Sure.
Yeah. So we'll get you out of here so we can get to this national title game. But real quick, what's your message that you'd like to send to Wahoo Nation?
I mean, guys, man, I gotta be careful what I say here. No, I really hope you guys, come out to the games and really show your support. And I really appreciate everything that you guys will do for us in the future. And, hopefully to keep the winning culture at Virginia going. And hopefully we're in the Final Four next year. So
there you go.
Yeah,
I love that. Love it. Yeah. Well, Jacari, we want to thank you so much for your time. We're super excited that you're joining the Hoos basketball team. Can't wait to see you play next year.
Wait, I got a question.
Yep. Okay.
Where does the Hoos come from? Like, I always thought it was like Virginia Cavaliers or something like that. So like, where does the Who come from?
You want to take
Jeff?
it, Jeff?
You want to take that one?
Look, we get asked that a lot. They always been called. So they're the Virginia Cavaliers, and the nickname they've always had is the Wahoos. Now Wahoo is a fish, so it doesn't add up to me. I don't know. I don't know why.
Hoos is short from Wahoos. We do know that.
Yeah.
But I don't know otherwise how we got that. But that's a great question.
Okay. I was just wondering. I didn't want to seem like even though I am new, like the new kid on the blog, or
you're
know.
Good. You're good. So. That's just what everybody just says. Go Hoos. Go Hoos.
Yeah.
You see it on. I know you see it on Twitter or whatever social media. Hashtag Go Hoos. Yeah. We're the Virginia Cavaliers, and we're also the Wahoos.
Yeah.
Great question. Yeah. Well, Jacari, thanks so much for coming on with us tonight. We can't wait to see you on the court next season. And
yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Good luck.
Enjoy your trip this weekend and travel safe. And I'm sure you'll probably have a lot of people approaching you and introducing themselves to you. And we're just so excited to have you. So thank you again.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Have a great evening.
Have a great night.
You too.
All right. Thanks again tonight for Jacari White joining the program. No longer the newest Who. He was the newest Who when we had the episode prepared, but also we had Duke Miles join the Who's this evening. And when you listen to this tomorrow, Tuesday, you'll see Duke Miles. I don't know if anybody else is coming.
I was going to say, who knows, Jeff? Duke might not be the newest member by the time people listen to this on Tuesday. I mean, you just don't know.
So you might get another one of them bang bang tweets, and then we're like, uh-oh. Now everybody keeps checking the X. I was checking it, and I don't know who threw it out there first. I'm gonna throw a shout out. The first one I saw it seconds after he released it was Preston Willett. When he put it out, I saw I was up there it is.
Folks are just waiting by the keyboard trying to be the first one.
Boop, boop, boop. They just gotta hit that enter button. That's right. And so we are what you call secondary sources. We get that news.
Well, most stuff. We do have a few sources here and there now, Jeff.
Yeah, we got some sources. We got a few sources. We don't have too many of them clamoring to give us a call, but they're welcome to give us a call, shoot us a message, and we'll be happy to break anything they want us to break. Duke Miles committed tonight. Jacari White seems like a super nice guy who's going to be a baller. He says, keep the main thing. And
got to have a chip on his shoulder too. I know. I mean, not getting recruited out of high school, and from that to playing in the ACC.
Awesome.
Big jump, and I'm sure his competitive nature that he talked about, I'm sure he's looking forward to getting to show the country everything he's capable of.
Yep. And then, it's funny as we hear from these guys when they enter the portal, the phone doesn't stop. And the phone ringing. You think about, I don't know about you, but myself, when my phone rings, 90% of the time I'm not even answering the phone because if I don't know who it is, if you're not in my call log, I'm not answering the phone. And he's got to answer all those calls non-stop.
And you know what I think about, Jeff, when we interviewed Nick Jackson, Virginia linebacker
Yep.
that transferred to Iowa, if when you remember what he said, literally he was driving from, I think it was Charlottesville back to home somewhere in Georgia, maybe. I might have the locations wrong, but literally was driving home after entering the portal, and there was a coaches plural from a staff waiting at his house.
Yeah.
Went in the portal, and hours later he's got coaches at his house. I mean, it's a crazy time. It's crazy.
Is. And, I did learn that I didn't know that I guess I don't know if it was Coach Odom or who had reached out to him from VCU when he first entered the portal. So there was some connection there because originally Virginia wasn't in the 5 finalists, but
now that makes sense.
Yep. And then also Kyle Guy had reached out. This is before Odom was the coach, and he reached out on behalf of Virginia. And then speaking of Kyle Guy, it was announced today by Kyle himself that he will not be coming back. I guess maybe he's got another gig lined up, or I don't know. I'm just saying it because he says moving on to other opportunities. I don't know if he's got one or not, but I know I don't recall who was saying they thought that he was offered a chance to stay and just elected not to. So best wishes to Kyle. Thank you to Kyle for everything he did for the University of Virginia, for sure.
Yeah, we don't have one of these trophies behind me if it's not for Kyle. So
why do you get to hold the trophies is the question that I'm trying to figure out.
Look, I'm in a special place, special set, location unknown, as the wrestlers.
Unknown. The parts unknown. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in parts unknown for right now.
And since our last episode, so we've added Jacari White, we added Duke Miles tonight. We also added Joshua Lewis, not
Sam Lewis. Yeah.
Shout out to Josh Lewis on the youth baseball team, my youth baseball team. That's why I said that. I'm sorry, Sam Lewis.
All three are really high quality 3-point shooters. So it's exciting, and they all are really strong defensive players, which I know Virginia fans are going to be excited to hear and see that. And then you got a guy like Chance Mallory running the point, who's just lightning quick, going to be a great distributor and potential scorer himself. But as a point guard, especially early in his career, surrounding him with guys who can fill it up from 3 and who also have the ability to get to the basket. Like if you watch these guys play, all 3 of them are really strong finishers as well. So just super excited for what's being built. That being said, we got to get some bigs, right? That's the next one, and I'm sure it's coming. Coach Odom is obviously building something here, and look, he's not building it to win 2 to 3 years from now. These guys are coming in with 1 year eligibility left.
What did Jacari say? What did Jacari say he hopes next year?
Final Four. That. That's his goal. And of course, what else would your goal be as a player? But they're not coming here to build a program and just hope to take it back to the tournament. They're trying to do damage.
Yep. So so that's what's been going on. I know that real quick, I know that Coach Odom's been super busy. But Coach, I'm sure you're listening to this. And if you're not, we'll make sure you get to take a glimpse of this episode. Coach Odom, we'd love to bring you on for 5 minutes of your time, 2 minutes of your time, 10 minutes of your time, whatever amount of time you want. You name the day, the time, the place. We will make ourselves available. We'd love to have you on the show to talk about all the great things that you're doing in Charlottesville. And
I got to give one more shout out, Joe. I got to give a shout out. I got to give a shout out to you. outstanding article blog on what's going on with Virginia basketball. It's on our website, which we're trying to kind of grow, and we've had some people subscribe, so that's great. But it's you want to get the website out and tell them what you got?
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. So every once in a while I luck into a little something, but the cavalierconnection.com, you can go on, and trying to keep it updated with our episodes, links to our episodes on YouTube, and plan to have a weekly news article on there just with what's happening in UVA over the past week. When you click the link for the YouTube for the episodes, make sure to hit the subscribe button. We love you to subscribe on the website. We'd also like you to subscribe on the on YouTube. And also, when you subscribe on the website, I don't know what that's going to do. I get an alert telling me that you've subscribed now. So if you may get an email when we post something, and if you don't, then we're going to come up with something. We'll make sure we forward you whatever we submit on there, so you'll get a link to it right away, and maybe we'll get you some sneak early viewings of episodes, including like Jacari White or some of our other guests that we have on. So yeah, cavalierconnection.com, and we'll see.
Shout out to everybody.
We're a work in progress.
We were barely at 300. Now we're up at like 319 or so. Yeah. From just a couple of days. So a lot of support being provided. We just appreciate all that. And if you haven't hit subscribe, please hit the subscribe button. It just helps us out. So thank you.
Yep. And that's going to wrap us up tonight. We will have more to come later in the week, and I'm going to guess Virginia basketball has got more to come later in the week. We hope everyone has a good week and enjoys this episode, or has enjoyed this episode, and we will see you guys next time around. Go Hoos.
Go Hoos.